Hello and welcome. I'm Danette Kabunda, and joining me today for a very special Zoom interview is Dr. Chris Whaley. He is a professional wrestler turned Baptist minister, and he's the author of The Masked Saint and Harold's Heavenly Christmas. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Whaley. It's so nice to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Danette. It is such a pleasure to be with you.
So how and why did you get into professional wrestling?
You know, I grew up as a sickly kid, constantly in and out of the hospital, even had polio and had to learn to walk all over again. But I had a great, wonderful doctor, and he was the one who got me going to the gym. And as I continued to work out in the gym and my body continued to grow, and then finally, I was in the shape of a professional wrestler. And then when I graduated from college, I saw this ad in the paper saying wanted professional wrestlers. And so I answered that ad, drove to Tampa, Florida, walked in and saw this guy that I'd watched wrestle as a child. And he trained me and many other well-known wrestlers. It was just an unbelievable thrill to experience what I experienced.
That's amazing. And you say that wrestling was your dream, but ministry was your calling. How did you make that transition?
Well, growing up as a sickly kid, you never think you're going to have the opportunity to do what I did, but it's always that dream that you would love to do. And so that dream stayed with me every day until I had the opportunity to fulfill it. Well, when I was in college, I became a Christian, and I felt the call of God upon my life to ministry. And so wrestling was my dream, ministry was my calling, but I actually got to enjoy both of those, because even after I became a pastor, I still connected with wrestling, still connected with wrestling friends, still got to do wrestling shows and be interviewed about my wrestling. And so I've actually got to continue on in that dream all of my life, as well as my calling.
That's amazing. So what led you then to write the book?
I had all of these experiences after I became a pastor, in which I handled things more as a pro wrestler than I did as a pastor. And I had so many of those episodes. And my wife said, it'd make a great book. And so I started writing the book on the weekends. And before you know it, I had this book called The Masked Saint, and was so fortunate enough to get that published.
And not just publish the book, but it became a movie shortly after.
It certainly did. After the book came out, I began getting calls from movie producers, and ultimately I had this producer call me and said, "Are you sitting down?" I said, "Matter of fact, I am. I'm driving." And he said, "Well, you might want to pull over." And I pulled over off the side of the road and said, "What's up?" And he said, "We're going to make your book into a movie." And they did. It was made into a feature-length film. It's a great movie. It won Best Picture at the International Christian Film Festival in 2015. The book is still being shown on Tubi, and it was on Netflix for 3 years, and people are still buying it off of Amazon. So it's just another unbelievable thrill in my life.
What do you see as the message of The Masked Saint?
Yeah, I really think that there are three things. One of them is that you can't undo your past. I had some things in my past that I wish I did not have. You can't undo your past. What do? You learn from it and you overcome the rough spots. But secondly, you can change your present every day. Every day you have the opportunity to change some things, and each day gain more and more confidence in what you're doing. But thirdly, you take your past, you take your present, and you fulfill your dreams in the future. And I think that's the message of The Masked Saint, is being able to fulfill those dreams in the future.
Oh, I love that. Such an inspiring message. To learn more about Dr. Chris Whaley, his books, The Masked Saint and Harold's Heavenly Christmas, as well as all of his other projects, please visit his website at themaskedsaint.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.